Thank you for your presentation. The next presenter is Huang Yiqiao.
Please welcome our the 10 days of EMI in Taiwan.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eva, and today I'll be presenting college students' perspective on the effectiveness of EMI in Taiwan. So here's our line. I'll start from the background to the conclusion. My motivation comes from observing some disparity EMI courses, and the research purpose is to evaluate the effectiveness of EMI, focusing on the gap between government's goal and what the school can actually do. And I got 4 indicators which corresponded to each research question. So we will see how college students in Taiwan perceive code switching, which refers to the use of both Chinese and English by instructors, language barriers and anxiety, participation, ESP and EMP, which focus on the professional terminology, and some academic language skill that students need. And we also see how these 4 elements influence students' learning outcomes. For literature review, EMI has been globally used as a trend in a lot of non-English speaking countries. Most of them are policy-driven, aimed at improving students' English proficiency and their global competitiveness. Taiwan is also part of the trend. We can tell from its 2030 bilingual nation policy. However, the current state of EMI in Taiwan shows mixed outcome. Under the 2030 bilingual nation policies, Taiwan has rapidly expanded their EMI courses, but the disparity in students' English proficiency created unequal learning experience. Okay, so with lower proficiency, students struggling more. So we can see EMI can offer enhanced global opportunities, but still present some challenges like language proficiency barrier and equity concerns. So in this paper, mixed method was conducted, combining both survey and semi-structured interview. For the survey, I collected 85 responses through a platform like Google Form and Vcard. Quota sampling was also used to make sure that I can collect an idea and some opinion from students in different departments at once. SPSS and ChatGPT was also used to analyze the data and generate the report. So for the first research question, I tried to estimate how helpful the student found the code switching based on their English proficiency. And through the descriptive analysis, we can see the A2 student here got highest mean score. It means A2 student found the code switching significantly helpful. Also, through the ANOVA, you can see the p-value here is less than 0.05. It means there's significant difference in the perception of the helpfulness of code switching among students with different English proficiency. Moreover, with the post-op analysis, I used A2 and B1 student and compared with B2 student, and the p-value resulted in 0.000 and 0.028, which are less than 0.05. It means that students with lower English proficiency, like A2 and B1 student, view the code switching particularly helpful. According to the interview, we also found that students prefer occasional use of code switching rather than frequent usage. For example, interview 7 mentioned that if the teacher only switched when we were completely lost, it would help us to catch up the class content, while interviewee 1 mentioned that if the teacher switched between the language too often, that is disruptive. The class just end up listening mostly to Chinese. So the key finding here for the first research question is selective code switching enhances comprehension, particularly for lower proficiency students. Secondly, for the second research question, I tried to figure out what makes students suffer from language barrier. And through effective analysis, we found that students usually have problems like limited English proficiency and unfamiliarity with professional vocabulary. Based on the interview, we also found that students face language barrier, particularly like technical terminology. For example, interview 5 mentioned that the technical vocabulary in English was overwhelming. Similarly, interview 7 said that the terms used in economics or science were on a different level. In addition, I tried to measure the level of the anxiety student experienced based on their English proficiency. Through the descriptive analysis here, you can see the A2 student here got highest mean score. It means A2 student experienced the highest pressure. However, through ANOVA here, you can see the p-value is more than 0.05. It means there's no statistically significant difference in pressure among students with different English proficiency. So the key finding here for the second research question is lower proficiency students face high anxiety due to language challenges, particularly with technical vocabulary. For the third research question, I tried to know how differences in students' English proficiency impact their participation and engagement. So through the descriptive analysis, you can see the overall mean score here is generally low. B2 student got highest mean score, but it's only 2.12. It means although the overall participation rate is low, but B2 students were slightly more active in participation. And moreover, through ANOVA, you can see the p-value here is less than 0.05, It means there is significant difference in the participation level among students with different English proficiency. Moreover, according to the interview, we also observed that students with higher English proficiency may be more active in participation, while students with low English proficiency may feel invisible. For example, interview 5 with B2 level, which is the highest English level, said that I feel my English was good, so I need to contribute actively in discussion to meet the expectation. In contrast, interview 4 with A2 level, which is the lowest level, mentioned that sometimes I feel a bit avoidant, and if someone asks me to do something, I'll just do it. So the key finding here for the third research question is many students, especially those with lower English proficiency, may struggle to participate actively in class discussion, leading to low overall participation. Lastly, I tried to evaluate the effectiveness of ESP and ERP program to know whether this supporting program can help the student consolidate the skill they need in EMI courses. And through the descriptive analysis, we can see the overall rating will moderate across different skill area. And with according to the interview, we also found that students experience improvement in listening and reading, but feel less prepared in speaking and writing. For example, interview 3 mentioned that a teacher from an ESP class guiding us through the entire article and explaining the sentence usage which benefit our reading skill. However, interview 12 mentioned that clearly expressing my idea during the academic discussion and presentation in English was quite difficult, especially when I needed to respond quickly. Similarly, interview 10 also pointed out that complex grammar and vocabulary was not practiced enough in ESP class to meet that academic demands. So the key finding here for the last research question is ESP and EAP program moderately support students' need in listening and reading, but leave them less prepared in speaking and writing. So for the conclusion and suggestion, to make the EMI education more effective, probably we need to adopt more selective code switching, implement targeted language support, promote inclusive participation strategies, and enhance EAP and ESP program. Thanks, everybody.